Fell many times, but I learned to stand.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another YouTube video. I know that it's been a while, and that has a lot to do with life in general. Life has been lifing quite a bit, but that's no excuse. We are back, and I am so happy to tell you guys that this week I've been in the Porsche Macan GTS, and honestly, the words are just not there to explain just how good this car is. I mean, yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. So as always, I'm going to tell you guys everything that you need to know about what it's like to drive, what it's been like to live with. And I took this car on a nice little road trip to Mpumalanga, to Skumanskloof. So that's been really quite amazing. And of course, I'm going to tell you guys how that road trip went. So keep it locked and let's get it. So the Macan GTS, what exactly is it? So for those of you that follow me on Instagram and other socials, I'll drop my handles down below. But for those of you that follow me, you would have remembered 2 years ago we spent time with the Porsche Macan T. Now the Macan T is essentially the sportier variant of the normal Macan. So it's got certain things that have been uprated to it. Now the GTS, that takes things up an extra notch. The GTS adds more aggressive styling, obviously the very impressive 2.9 liter V6 under the bonnet up front. So the GTS is essentially, if you think of the entire Porsche lineup, the GTS is the sportiest. It might not be the most powerful, but it is the sportiest out of the entire range. And my oh my, this has been nothing short of exactly that. And I'm pretty sure you guys can hear that impressive exhaust note coming through there. But this Macan GTS is obviously then a very sporty version of the entry level of SUVs in the Porsche world. So obviously it starts with the Macan, then you get the Cayenne, and obviously all of your other models. But if you're looking for something of a small size, something not too big, but you are looking for something sporty as well, this literally would be what you would go for. So I'm going to tell you guys then how it's been like to drive. And I mean, most of the drive has been out on the open road, to be quite honest. I mean, I picked up this car last week Thursday. Today is Monday. I'm actually returning the car right now to Porsche Center in Johannesburg. But immediately, I mean, I picked up the car, drove to my house, packed, and hit the N4. And you know, it's such an amazing car that has dual personality. So right now I'm gonna pop it into normal mode and close the exhausts, and it's a nice quiet SUV. You'd be fooled into thinking that this is just, you know, an SUV, you know, that has no sportiness, no sporty prowess, if I may. But obviously, if you use the drive mode switch over here, you can toggle between Sport Plus, as well as individual, where you can obviously set the car up to your liking. And having it into Sport now opens the exhaust valves automatically. And if I push this button on the steering wheel, it puts it into manual mode. I'm currently in 6th gear, and I'm gonna drop a few gears with the 7K PDK. The 7-speed PDK, so that's Porsche's dual clutch transmission. Changing down into 3rd. Oof. She goes, and that was just like a very light pull from 100 kilometers an hour to 120, and yeah, she pulls. Just one more. Oh, it sounds glorious. So let's behave a little bit, pop it back into normal, exhaust valves close up. And that's something that I need to mention, that exhaust system. It is so impressive. I mean, my oh my, like, you know, out of all the places that I've been going to, you know, from Joburg to Pretoria to Schoemanskloof, you know, people just turn. Like, when you hear this car, people just turn and they're just like, whoa, what is that firecracker? And I absolutely love, just like I mentioned, the dual personality that this car has. You know, once you obviously pop it into its sportier settings, it really does become an athlete, and I really do love that about it, you know. So you could have it as, you know, a fun car to have for the daily school run, but when you need it to play and you need it to be that athlete, it really does come alive, and I really do love that about this Macan GTS. Then, of course, I mentioned briefly a few moments ago, the 7-speed PDK. I mean, for all of you petrol heads, you know that a PDK is absolutely up there with the best, if not the best. Like, it does such an amazing job at shifting. I'm just gonna pop it into Sport Plus, shifts down into third, burbles. It is instant. It is instant. Like, it, you, and it, like, you get what I mean, right? Pop it down again, some burbles. Ooh, those burbles are so addictive. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I honestly wish you guys could experience what I am experiencing right now, because there's just nothing like how a Porsche drives. Come with all of your M cars, your AMGs, come with all of that, but there's just nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. And I think that's really something that you really need to appreciate about Porsches. And you know, it's funny, I once read a tweet where someone said, growing up, you don't really appreciate Porsches for what they are till you actually do grow up and you actually think, and you're like, you know what, Porsches are actually where it's at. You know, they're not always the flashiest or the loudest or the most powerful, but how they bring everything together is what makes them such a perfect recipe. 110 kilometers an hour, just like that. So obviously it's been, I mean, the smile on my face just tells you just how much fun I've had on these, or during these last couple of days. And I mean, taking it out to Mpumalanga has been absolutely amazing. You know, I got to experience it in a way that not many people would experience a Porsche, to say the least. So I took the N4 East, and then just after the Mercado Toll Plaza, I took the R539. You guys know, if you're familiar with Mpumalanga, you know that there's two routes to go towards Nelspruit: the tunnel route after Mercado following straight, or the scenic, which I really love, the scenic route, which takes you through the R539. It's unfortunate that there's just so much construction on the N4 currently, but the roads are amazing when they do clear up and when there aren't any trucks. This car comes into its own. You pop it into Sport Plus or Sport, and it just comes alive. You know, it comes alive, it sings, it handles really, really well. And because it's an SUV, you can actually, you have a bit more confidence. And I say that because, you know, sometimes when the roads are not so great, you tend to be like, you know, under some undulations and some bumps and so forth. But being an SUV, you've got that added safety net, you know, that you're slightly higher up. So the car does give you a bit more confidence. And of course, handling wise, it does superbly. Like some of those mountain passes, you know, this car just handles them with ease, really. It really does handle them with ease. And again, I'll come back to the fact that Porsches bring together so many different factors that make up a sports car or a sports SUV. And they take a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of that, and they just really put it all together into this lovely sandwich, if I can call it, that is just so delicious. And I think that's just honestly the best analogy that I can think of right now. But it's just a really well put together sandwich that your mother would make you when you were 5 years old. And it just feels like home. It feels like everything is going to be okay. And that's what I absolutely love about this Macan GTS. And as I was saying, you know, I'm a big yapper. I yap and yap and yap. But so R539, just before so if you guys are very familiar with Nelspruit, there's a pad style called Joubert and Siens. It's a pad style that I absolutely love stopping at. So a couple of kilometers before that, you have this turn off into a gravel road, and that's where it really kicks off to the destination that we went to. So you take a gravel road. It's about 15 to 20 kilometers of gravel, so it's quite long. It's really quite long. And riding on 21-inch alloy wheels, which I do not want to be explaining to Porsche as to why I messed them up. You really have to take it nice and easy. That 20 kilometer stretch took me about an hour, if not just over an hour, to complete, because getting a flat tire there, a bit tricky, and I do not want to find out. So that was quite interesting though, to experience that. And I mean, this Macan GTS has an off-road mode, and what that does is it raises the air suspension to its maximum height, and that essentially gives you a lot more ground clearance, which is quite helpful. And I really did find that to be of use in that setting. So I really do think that this car was really the best suited for my road trip and my little getaway. What more can I say? It's been absolutely so impressive. I've absolutely loved it. It's an amazing car. It really is an amazing car. I mean, from the full tank, you're getting, if you behave, you could easily get well over 600 kilometers from a full tank. The tank is quite big, surprisingly, and I was quite surprised because I filled up on the way back from Schoemanskloof, and 73 liters cost me about 1,900 rand. And I was like, 73 liters? It sounds weird that a Macan, as small as it is, has a fuel tank that big. But anyway, it gives you about 650 odd kilometers if you're behaving. But who cares about fuel economy when you're driving a Porsche? If you do, please skip this video and, I don't know, go and watch a budget car frugal video. I don't know. But you're not here to be worried about fuel economy. Obviously, I'm just reporting on that for you, just in case you are wondering. But honestly, it's really not a complaint. I mean, currently, the fuel gauge is showing. This is quite funny. The fuel gauge is showing as 3/4, and the range is saying 363 kilometers, which is just laughable. So I guess the only real gripe here would be the fact that you're having to stop quite often to fill up your fuel. First world problems, hey? The type of problems that I would love. But yeah, that is the drive of this Macan GTS. The interior, quickly just to touch on this, I mean, it's very analog, which I absolutely love. You guys know that currently all new cars are just filled with screens and all sorts of funny things. So to have analog everything in this car is such a breath of fresh air. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, you've got analog dials in front of you and one digital dial on the far right for basically your tire pressure monitor, your chrono, some of your vehicle settings, your audio. So that's there. And then you've got your rev counter in the middle in true Porsche style, which revs all the way up to 8,000 revs. And then your speedo on the far left. And then your steering wheel has physical buttons, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. You've got these steel or aluminium like flappy pedals, your drive mode selector over there, and if you push the button in the center, it gives you full beans for a maximum of 20 seconds. And then you've got your cruise control stalk over here, so that's quite nice to have as well. And then of course, infotainment screen has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, really easy to connect to. And of course, it is the Porsche system, so it's quite intuitive, really simply laid out, which I really do like, but obviously you'll be using Apple CarPlay most of the time. Then physical buttons, well, not really physical, but they are touch capacitive, but they are easy to use for the most part. So you've got physical climate control buttons, so for your fan speed as well as your temperature, and then everything else is touch capacitive, but they are easy to use. So obviously the first button that you want to do is the auto start stop. You switch that off immediately, and then you've got your exhaust valves, which you select like so. Traction control, air suspension, to lower and raise the height, or the suspension in terms of the stiffness. So you can have the suspension or the chassis rather in comfort, sport, or sport plus. I've just left it in comfort, so that obviously then makes sure that the ride is as comfortable as possible, but everything else is very, very sporty. Then obviously you've got your heated seats and so forth, and you've got your gear selector, which I really do wish you could change gears up and down through the gear itself. I feel like for me personally, it would be a tad more engaging opposed to just relying on the flappy pedals. So that's unfortunate, just a small gripe that I do have. But alas, that is the interior. You've got two cup holders over here. You've got some storage to put your keys, and the door bins are also decently sized, so you can fit your water bottles and any other stuff that you might need to put in. And then underneath the armrest, which does move forward and backwards, you do have some storage over there, as well as two USB-C ports. So from a practicality point of view, it is also quite impressive. And of course, the boot space is also equally impressive. I managed to fit in a weekend load, a weekend's worth of luggage for two people, which fit absolutely seamlessly. So that's quite good. So as a family car, it definitely wins. Where the price is concerned, I mean, honestly, looking at what it competes against, you know, the likes of the Audi SQ5, those sorts of sports or performance SUVs, honestly, just go right ahead and buy yourself a Porsche Macan GTS. It is the business. And remember what I told you guys about the fuel economy? Just as a side note, so earlier on it was 363 kilometers of range, and I'm currently driving in Sport Plus, but just cruising normally, it's now gone up to 396, and it keeps going up. So if you behave, it really can do a great job at giving you extra miles, or extra miles per mile, whichever one you choose. But that is it from me and the Macan GTS. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys very soon again. Please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe to make sure that you never miss any of my uploads. We will be uploading very frequently from now, so the aim is to do at least one video per week for you guys to enjoy all of this that I get to experience. So as always, I am really grateful for the community that you guys have built alongside with me, and I really do appreciate all of your support. And as always, please, 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 again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But I will catch you guys soon again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the millionth time. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.